Now, we've got a little bit of a
we do have some
story
history,
here.
yeah. So I teach 2 film classes at Lakeshore High School.
Well,
people.
no, it's bad.
I know. I heard that and I was like,
Yep. So,
Praise.
film studies, which is watching, analyzing, discussing movies, great class. And then I also started film production. So, Sam went to Lakeshore High School, and I had been teaching film production for a while. I think it was your sophomore year, right?
yeah, it was my sophomore year.
And so
This
he's
is not my proudest moment. You can go ahead now.
so
Not my proudest moment.
this is the story of how Sam got the class canceled. So if you were walking away, come on back. Wow, I got really loud in my head. So
It wasn't just
Yeah,
in your
don't worry
head.
about it.
You just gave them all a little warning to come on back and watch.
all right. So here's let me paint the picture for you. Okay. It's I think our second project, and I call it the door scene. And you're basically trying to create tension using any kind of camera shots you want. It has to involve a door, and there's some other rules I have of what you have to do, and you have 1.5 minutes to do it. For their door, and it could be anything. In this case, they decided to use a trunk as the door. Okay, and that's fine. That's a fine idea, right? Maybe not. And so they had been filming for a while, because at some point the person is in the parking lot, they hear a gunshot or something, and they hide in the trunk. And they had been filming this on and off. And I'm assuming you had filmed scenes where you hopped in the trunk, got out, and stuff, or no?
No, that was our first one.
Oh, that was the first one.
Because most cars have a way to get out without the keys. This car was from 1980. And what are we talking about?
All right,
here?
okay. So, all right. So this is what's going on. Students are filming, out, and it could be outside the building in the parking lot, apparently, and in other places throughout the building. And I'm sort of kind of walking around and checking in on groups. So Sam, because he's friends with Luke, has my phone number. And I didn't you call me?
Oh, yeah.
Sam calls me, and I'm just like, Sam? And no students ever called me, middle of the class, because I'm and then I'm just well, maybe he want me to run and use something from the room or something. And that's when Sam tells me on this
I was pretty calm.
on this very warm day in October that he is trapped in the trunk. So I'm you're calling me from the trunk of the car. I'm okay. I'm on the opposite side of the building, and I'm and then you just ask all the obvious questions. Did you try the key? Did you do this?
I'm holding the key in my hand.
So he has the key, but it doesn't have the electronic
key fob.
right. So at this point, I'm oh man. So I think I get all the way out there. So now I'm not on the phone. I'm talking to the trunk with Sam inside it, making sure he's okay. And it is, like I said, a warm day. This is the middle of the afternoon, and the band is rehearsing in the parking lot. And I just remember that was starting to wind down. And then I just I have no idea how to get you out of there. And then you're just well, I gotta go tell my boss. I gotta go find the principal now and let him know hey, so now I have the principal, the vice principal. They were at lunch in the cafeteria, and having a meeting, and I dragged them all out here. So now we're all looking at the trunk, and they're you're
As Sam's
but they're getting nervous. You can't have the head
real hot in there.
Yeah, so you're actually starting to get a little worried now. And then we get the auto shop people coming out, or the welding group, trying to see if they can get into this trunk. So now it's the band, the welding people, me, of course, the principal, vice principal, whatever. And then, sure enough, a cop car pulls in.
Well, they had to call the cops.
So the cops come and couldn't figure anything, so they end up having to break the window. And thank goodness, I guess it did have, because you were able to stick your hand through the inside to hand the key to the cop to get Sam out of the trunk. So that was crazy, but you're okay, so shouldn't it just be well, yeah, he was actually doing what he was supposed to do. I thought, at least maybe, that wasn't good. Be more careful. Lesson learned. You can't control things that happen. And that wasn't it was just an accident. And so then I'm sitting in the principal's office.
Thank you. It wasn't.
And he's we can't have that happen anymore. I'm I know, you know, like what I don't know how to prevent such odd things from happening other than like no more trunks, you know? But then it was like I had to be with everyone to film. And so they thought it best to like let it die down. Now, in a weird way, I won't say it worked, but like I think like the next year was the pandemic.
Was it, Sam?
Was next
Was
year?
it?
Yeah,
Your
I
junior
think
year?
it was my junior year.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So I don't think that class would have happened. And then everything with people wearing masks and social distancing, it was like if the class was going to
Well,
get shut down, that was
it
a
was
good
the
time.
next semester that you didn't have it. So I think it was
Oh.
a little bit
No,
not
I think
to
I
do
did.
it.
I had it second semester, but it was like a weird way I had to run it. But anyways, that is the story of Sam getting film
In that-
production
when I
canceled
was-
it's back now. The class is back. So, and
Which
it went
I'm
well.
so excited to hear
Yeah.
because
That was a big.
I was so sad about that. I was like, wow, I just shut down his favorite class.
And of course, after all those years, it was my best friend. And of course, it's probably the one person that'll be the one kid that'll go through your class, or that'll be the best film student you will ever have. Will be the person that got locked in the trunk.
Yeah, and that'll be a great story.
And that is a great story.
When I was
Yeah.
in that trunk, it was so funny. I think I was playing like Angry Birds.
Oh, really?
I had nothing to do. It was so dark and
Like,
it was hot.
Guys, I'm dying. Like, what's that sound? Nothing.
I'm like calling people and then I'm like, all right, see ya.
Right,
And then I get
so-
on Angry Birds, beat the pigs.
Yeah.